Emirati artists prepare for one of the UAE's main art fairs, the International Art Dubai Fair, which will showcase the country's rather new art scene in the region. The sixth edition of Art Dubai takes place March 21st to 24, opening its doors to art lovers as well as collectors. Nasser Nasrallah, an Emirati artist, is thrilled to be having his debut at this year's fair. Nasrallah aims to encourage and inspire local artists to showcase their talent in an international exhibit, frequented by galleries, curators, and collectors from around the globe. The Emirati artist has spent the last 7 months working on his conceptual art project made up of wooden boxes. Each box has various different objects attached to it.
The idea is based on many of the machines invented by people over centuries, which now exist in very large numbers. If we take every machine by itself, it might seem as useful, but in general, throughout the course of life, many are useless, especially in the presence of so many other machines.
Last year's Arts Dubai Fair attracted more than 20,000 people.
Well, I think year on year we've seen a percentage increase. I mean, this year we have 10 galleries from UAE. That's the highest representation ever. And also more and more artists that are based here, whether they be Emirati or local.
Most of the art is no older than the 40-year-old country, with most of it being locally produced art following the traditional 2D form of painting and drawing. However, local artists are encouraged to explore modern techniques. Nasrallah says it took time for his family to accept and understand his passion for art, especially it being difficult to make a living from it in the region. He keeps a side job in telecommunications to support his family. Sultan Al-Qasimi, an Emirati collector and blogger, explains that Emirati artists benefit from competitive art fairs, even if their work is not the centerpiece.
There is an English expression that goes, it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than another fish in the sea. So it all depends on how one looks at it. I personally think that if one was in the sea, then there is a whole world to explore and learn from. So Art Dubai and other fairs that come to the Emirates made from the small pond that is Emirati art. They made it into a big sea.
The UAE hosts 2 main art fairs, the more established Art Dubai, which is 6 years old this year, and a smaller 4-year-old Abu Dhabi Art Fair. Al-Qasimi says that for the relatively young Emirati art to develop, artists need to look abroad for wider exposure.
As a collector, I wish there was more effort by local artists to exhibit internationally outside the UAE. Of course, the UAE and Gulf are important, but how do we take Emirati art to European art markets? Emirati artists has to approach galleries in Europe.
Artists like Nasrallah, who has had some of his previous work bought up by Al-Qasimi to go into the latter's private collection, can only hope that fairs like Art Dubai will bring him more international acclaim and exposure. Nadia Main, Al Arabiya.